Today we're going to be talking about 50 tiny ways to simplify your life. When you're just starting out with simplifying your life and living a more intentional lifestyle, it's much easier to make some small, subtle changes rather than to try and transform your entire life overnight. And of course, as you add more and more of these tiny little changes, you are definitely going to see that transformation over time. So we have a long list to get through today, so I'm just going to jump straight into number one, which is to keep your important documents in one place. Having one safe space for all of these things has been a lifesaver. I haven't had to go through a bunch of random papers searching for the thing that I need. It's all been right there for me. Number two is to keep outfit ideas in your phone. This is a relatively new one for me, but I found that when I was getting ready for some kind of event or even just a normal day, the thing that stressed me out the most was choosing what to wear. Now I just have to open an app, have a look at the outfits that I've worn in the past and pick one of them. Number three is to have a designated charging spot for your phone. If you find that you use your phone a bit too much during the day, this can really help to keep your phone out of sight while it's charging. But it has also meant that I never lose my phone charger because it stays in the same place. Number four is to choose 3 tasks per day for your to-do list. By simplifying it right down to just 3 tasks, not only are you going to feel less overwhelmed by the amount that you have to do, but you're also able to prioritise the things that you're choosing to do to make sure you're doing the things that are going to have the biggest impact and lead to the best results. Number 5 is to have a place to capture anything that's on your mind. Whether it's a quote you really liked, a life-changing business idea, or something that you have to pick up next time you're at the shops. Having a place to write it all down will allow you to get it out of your head and into a safe place where you don't have to try to remember it at all. Number 6 is to shut down your browser tabs at the end of the day. Starting your workday, whether that's studying, working from home, or working on your own project with yesterday's tabs still open, will most likely just distract you from even getting started on what you want to get done today. By all means, bookmark the tabs that you're going to need to come back to, but try to close them down so you have a fresh start every day. Number 7 is to give your phone its own home. We're so used to having our phones on us all the time that when we don't, it can feel like we're missing something. But 9 times out of 10, our phones just distract us from what it is we're actually trying to do. So creating a designated place where you keep your phone when you don't actually have to be using it will let you sleep, eat, and spend time with people in peace. Number 8 is to focus on one thing at a time. This is one that I'm having to drill into myself. We often think that the more we do it once, the more productive we're going to be. Even in my own life, I've proved over and over again that just isn't the case. Number 9 is to plan your dinners for the week in advance. I don't think you have to fully prep your meals or even plan every single meal, but it's definitely helpful to know what you're going to have for dinner each night. You're able to get all the ingredients you're going to need in one shopping trip, and you don't have to make the decision when you're hungry. Number 10 is to keep your keys in one place. Running around trying to find your keys when you have to be somewhere and you're already late is only going to stress you out and put you in a bad mood. Having one place for your keys means you're always going to know where they are when you need them. Number 11 is to spend 10 minutes a day tidying up your home. Sometimes we just don't pick up after ourselves, and that is completely okay. But having just a few minutes every day to put things back where they should be makes sure that the mess doesn't spiral out of control. Number 12 is to use hooks to store things that you use often. It's easier to grab things off a hook and put them back on a hook than it is to put them on a hanger or fold them up and put them in a drawer. So you're more likely to put it away if it's easy to do, and if it's something you use a lot, you want it to be easy to put it away. Number 13 is to keep a note of where your money goes each month. Not only does this help you keep track of your money, but it also helps you to be more intentional with where your money's going, work towards your savings goals, and spend in line with your values. You'd be surprised how much money you can spend without even realising. Number 14 is to store your makeup near a mirror with good lighting. It's a very simple thing, but since I've done this, it's actually saved me so much hassle moving my makeup between rooms to the mirror that has better lighting. or having to fix my makeup because I did it in the mirror that didn't have good lighting and it just didn't turn out very good. Number 15 is to set things out ahead of time. I find that if the thing I need is already set up and waiting for me, I'm far more likely to follow through on that habit or do the thing that I plan to do. Number 16 is to turn off all notifications other than the essentials. Each notification is like another thing added to the clutter in our brain. Have as few notifications switched on as you can to keep your mind as clear as possible while you have got your phone on you. Number 17 is to have a system for buying new things. If your money just seems to be disappearing, chances are you're spending more than you realise on impulse purchases. Having even just a couple of questions to ask yourself before you buy something will help you really intentionally decide if that's somewhere you want your money to go or if you'll be fine without it. Number 18 is to clear your desk at the end of every workday. If you want to start tomorrow's workday focused, you're going to have to remove the distractions. Number 19 is to minimise your collections of things that you're not really that into. It can be tempting to try and keep up with trends, but if you find yourself buying things just because everyone else is, you can stop. This might mean minimising your makeup collection, the spices in the kitchen cupboard that you never actually cook with, or the books in your bookshelves that you never read. If you have a collection that you love, keep it, add to it, and enjoy having that collection. But if you're not that into it, you can let it go. Number 20 is to shred or recycle papers that you don't need as soon as you get them. Random paper clutter can build up so easily, and the best way to deal with it is to make a decision as soon as it comes through the door. If it's something you don't need, recycle it or shred it if you have to, rather than just letting a big pile of papers build up. Number 21 is to find time each day to intentionally relax. Having time to specifically not be productive helps to keep your mind calm and clear. If you don't stop, neither will your mind. Number 22 is to limit your goals. Spreading yourself too thin means your goals can't actually get the attention that they need to progress anywhere. The fewer the better, and I'd say a maximum of 3 works pretty well. Number 23 is to spend 1 to 2 hours a week getting on top of everything. I do this in the form of a weekly reset, and it helps so much to keep me ahead of what's going on in my life. Number 24 is to use life admin days to batch all the little things. We all have those little tasks that aren't that important, but it would be nice to just get them done. Having one day to tick off as many of these as possible is not only extremely satisfying, but it means you don't have to worry about when you're going to get it done. Number 25 is to plan your day the night before. I don't know exactly why, but my mind is so much clearer when I wake up in the morning knowing already what I'm going to be doing that day. Number 26 is to keep baubles everywhere. In the car, in your handbag, next to your bed. When you want to tie your hair up but you don't have a bauble, it's honestly just annoying. So having them everywhere just makes sure that you've always got one on hand if you need it. Number 27 is to set up checklists for things that you do often. Some of mine include cleaning checklists, video creation systems, weekly reset checklists. Even if you know how to do it and you know what you're supposed to do, having that list or that system there really helps when you either don't really feel like doing it or you're just having a hard time getting started. Number 28 is to use routines to check off healthy habits. I'd recommend building these up slowly, but using your daily routines to do your healthy habit helps it become ingrained into your day. For example, rather than trying to remember to journal when you get home from work, you could do it while you drink your tea in the morning, if that's something that you always do. Number 29 is to use one app for all of your notes and documents and all of that kind of thing. I love Notion for this, and I use it for everything compared to having a different app for absolutely everything you could possibly need. This is so much easier. Number 30 is to use up products before you buy more. Especially with things like pens, notebooks, bath bombs, it can be easy to just kind of collect them, but those things have to go somewhere until you actually use them. And before you know it, you find yourself storing a bunch of things for you to use one day. It's so much easier to just buy them in the future when you actually need them. Number 31 is to buy birthday cards in advance. Whether you buy specific cards for each birthday or just bulk buy a bunch of cards, having some there to use is going to help so much when you just happen to have a really busy week leading up to someone's birthday and can't get to the shop for a card. Number 32 is to unfollow anything that you don't like seeing online. What we consume has a massive impact on how we feel and our thoughts, and curating our feed based on what we want to be thinking about and how we want to be feeling can really help to keep us more clear-headed and more focused when we're using social media. Number 33 is to have an errands bag. I have a bag that I keep hooked on my door for anything that needs to be dropped off or posted or basically has to leave the house. When something is ready to be posted or returned or whatever it is, I just put it in that bag, and then the next time I'm heading out I can just grab it and I have all of the things that I need to do while I'm out. Number 34 is to set reminders for big expenses. Having your calendar remind you about this in advance gives you a bit of time to put some money aside so you're prepared for that expense. Number 35 is to use an alarm clock instead of your phone. When using your phone, it's easy to turn off your alarm and just automatically start scrolling through social media. You're consuming all of this random information before you've even properly woken up. Using an alarm clock can completely remove that as an option, so you have a bit more control over your mornings. Number 36 is to keep towels in your bathroom if you have the storage. No one wants to do that awkward run through the house when you realise that you've just come out the shower and you forgot to take a towel in with you. So if you can just keep them in that room, it's so much easier. I bought a new storage unit so that I could do this, and definitely working out so much better for me. Number 37 is to have a physical inbox. This is just a place to keep things that you have to deal with but not right this second. It keeps it all together and means that you can go through everything at once. Number 38 is to decorate with fake flowers. I used to love the idea of having fresh flowers in my home all the time, but honestly it became more of a hassle to have to keep replacing those flowers every time they died. So I bought some fake flowers and I've got some dried flowers that are working so much better because I don't have to do anything to them, and they still look really nice. Number 39 is to keep a list of gift ideas. All throughout the year, keep a list for each person in your life, and whenever you have an idea for a gift for them or they mention something that they'd like, put it in this list. It's going to be so much easier when it comes to buying them a gift and you have a list of their favourite things and things they've specifically said they want to do or they want to get. Number 40 is to keep gift cards in your purse. I don't know how many times I've ended up in a shop without actually planning to go to that shop, and I've seen something I wanted to buy and I've not had the gift card, and I'm not going to buy it if I know I've got a gift card at home. That's like throwing away money. So making sure they're just always in your purse, even if you've no intention of going to that shop, just keep them in there. Number 41 is to unsubscribe from the emails that you always delete anyway. It's way too easy to end up on mailing lists that you don't really want to be on. So next time you find yourself deleting a bunch of emails from the same company, just go ahead and unsubscribe from their emails while you're deleting them. Number 42 is to use a whiteboard to write out things that you aren't going to need later. I can end up with tons of just post-its and random bits of paper with things scribbled on them that I'm never going to need again, but sometimes I just need to write things out to get them out of my head. And that is where using a whiteboard is really helpful, because I can do that, I can get it all out of my head, but without all the clutter that comes with it. Once I'm done, I just have to wipe it away. Number 43 is to use things that you already own to decorate your space. Before you head out to buy a bunch of knickknacks and ornaments to fill your space, have a look at what you already own and see if you could use that to decorate and make the place look pretty. For example, I use books that I do actually read and old notebooks that I've used in the past to decorate my space, and it works pretty well. Number 44 is to keep gift bags to reuse. It's not only much better for the environment to do that, but it's also just so much easier than going out and buying new gift bags every single time you have a gift to give someone. Number 45 is to ask for help when you need it. This is one that I find difficult, but asking for help can really make things so much easier and so much more simple for you. And it doesn't have to be massive things. Sometimes just taking a couple of the tiny things off your to-do list can take a big weight off of your shoulders. Number 46 is to write down your passwords. Obviously, we want to keep this safe and secure, but how many times have you found yourself clicking the forgot password button and going through that whole process and just getting frustrated with it? Keeping a note of all of your passwords is going to save you a lot of time and a lot of frustration in the long run. Number 47 is to put your donations in the car. If it's in the car, then the next time you find yourself passing the donation bin or the charity shop, you can just quickly nip in with it and get that dealt with. Number 48 is to keep spares of things that you're gonna run out of. For this one, I'm thinking things like shower gel, toilet roll, shampoo. Always have a spare, and when you start using that spare, add another one to your shopping list. Number 49 is to write the date on leftovers. This saves any confusion later when you're trying to figure out what day it was that you made that food and is it still safe to eat it. And finally, number 50 is to use a packing list when you travel. Trust me, it is so much easier to tick things off this kind of master list every single time you travel than to try and think off the top of your head what you're going to need. You might not need every single thing on the packing list for one trip, but at least you know you're not going to forget anything. So those are 50 tiny ways that you can simplify your life. Most of these you can start implementing today, so let me know in the comments which of these you're going to try out. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and you hit subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video.